I'm spending 100 days trapped on this raft, in the middle of an endless ocean. All I have is my trusty fishing rod to keep me from becoming shark food. By the end of this video, I want to transform my raft into a massive floating base that has everything I could ever need, including farms, villagers, and more. If you go on to enjoy this video, consider subscribing. It helps me produce more like this. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin on day 1. Welcome everybody to 100 days on a raft. As you can see, there is absolutely nothing here apart from us, the ocean, and the raft we're standing on. However, we can use this trusty fishing rod that we spawn with to fish up a bunch of trash. We've already got a few pieces of wood, so that's not too bad. I'm pretty sure that's a shark right there, so I'm going to stay away from him. Please leave us alone. I don't want to fight you. We can go ahead and break these oak leaves that we've got to see if we'll get lucky with a sapling. We won't. I'm pretty sure that's a barrel out there, and these contain loot when we place them down. Let's see, what have we got in here? We've got a few bits of iron ore in here, plus some coal and some carrots. Not too bad. There's a giant squid out there, and I don't like him very much. We're up to 3 jungle planks. I think I'm going to cannibalize the first bit of our raft, just so that we can make a crafting table. Now, as some of you may have noticed, this is pretty different to my usual 100 days. There's no screaming at the mic or any complicated mod packs. We're just going to have a laid-back time and build a really cool raft. Also, we've just got another barrel, so let's see what's in this one. Ooh, our first sapling. Now, it is acacia, which is horrible. I'm not going to be building the raft out of this, but for some starting wood, that's not too bad. We also have enough wood now to make some sticks, which we can then turn into... What do we actually want here? I guess we'll go with a stone pickaxe, because once we've got enough wood, we can make some doors, and then we can use those to go to the bottom of the ocean and actually start mining. And while I remember, let's get our sapling planted. Come on, little sapling. I need you to grow so we can start our ocean empire. If you guys end up liking this kind of 100 days building style video from me, let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to make some more. We've got 3 jungle planks. This is huge. We can make 6 slabs, and now we can expand the base a little bit. Oh, our tree's already grown. Okay, let's go ahead and make ourselves an axe. And thanks to the tree chopper mod, we've already destroyed the whole thing. Although there is still a little bit hanging around up here, so we'll clear that out. Oh, this is going to look so bad, but we'll use some acacia to expand the raft. We'll also get some torches set up so that we can actually see. Instead of just hanging around here waiting for these to grow, let's craft up some doors and go mining directly underneath the raft. Although now that I think about it, we do only have 3 carrots to our names, so let's go out and collect some fish first. All of you must be horribly murdered. I'm sorry. Oh, that one got away there. We've got a witness now. And we also have another barrel. Hey, just what we were looking for. More food. Plus, we have a spruce sapling, which is lovely because, as everyone knows, my favorite wood type, we are absolutely going to be using that for the raft. We'd also have this pufferfish, which is disgusting. I don't want him. Now that we're underwater, we can set up a little crude mine entrance like this. This is going to give us a lot of cobblestone to work with. Not that I really think we'll be using it for our raft because, of course, rafts are not made of stone. However, this will be useful for making temporary areas for farms or stuff like that. And we can also craft up all the stone tools we could ever want. I've just been going past all this stuff, but we should shovel up all the dirt that we find because we'll need it to make farms. We found some lapis. Look at that old texture. This mod pack only works on 1.16, which is basically ancient at this point. We've hit bedrock without finding a single iron ore, which is honestly pretty impressive. Are you serious? None of our trees have grown? That's a bit of a pain. We can go ahead and make some furnaces though and smelt up our iron ore, which is rather nice. And I'll also do my daily routine of collecting all the trash from around the raft. We're going to build the world's ugliest temporary farm using some dirt and some cobblestone. I'm also really hoping to get lucky with an oak sapling from these leaves because I do want to incorporate oak wood into the build. However, it doesn't look like today's going to be our day. Right then, we've got the potatoes and the beetroots planted in. Once we craft them into seeds, that doesn't work. Okay, you learn something new every day. We just have a few beetroot seeds, so we'll plant those. We've got a boat now, so let's head out in a few directions and see if there's anything around us in this endless ocean. I mean, we've got this tiny little structure. How exciting. It's just some driftwood. However, I will actually go ahead and pick this up because these are difficult times. Very difficult times indeed. Oh, okay. Hello. That is a much better find than just a tiny little pile of driftwood. Oh, no. Okay. It's not a friendly boat. I thought there might be villagers on here, but no, it's full of pillagers instead. There is an unimaginable amount of resources on this boat, though. We have got to raid this. Oh, and we've just mined straight in, so let's just go ahead and try and break that stupid spawner. I can't get it. There is also a baby zombie behind here, but we're going to have to set him free and fight him. If we can just get all these stupid pillagers out the way, we might have a chance of breaking that spawner. Oh, that's where the baby zombie went. He must have ran out when I wasn't looking. Okay, we've finally cleared enough of the enemies to get rid of that spawner. I just want to know if there's any chests on here so we can actually get some loot upgrades. Oh, the child has come back with a vengeance. If we're smart about this, we should just be able to mine straight into the bottom part of the ship, which is where I assume all the good loot is. I'm throwing out a lot of assumes and maybes here, which is not doing wonders for my confidence on this project. I seem to have accidentally created a pillager mob grinder, which is not what I had in mind. I do see a ton of wheat in here, which is absolutely ideal because we can make tons of bread with that. Oh no, there's creepers galore. I don't don't want all this precious loot to explode. I think let's duck down here for just a second. Then we should be able to kill them safely. This is supposed to be a calm, non-stressful video. This would be such an insanely OP head start for us, though, that I have to try this. Hold on, maybe we can block all of this off? Maybe? Okay, well, this isn't good, but we have managed to stop the flow of enemies, and we have got a small amount of loot in this barrel here. We do also have our own bed now, which is very nice. Our barricade does seem to be working for now, but I can tell that creeper wanted to just blow it to pieces. Oh, and there's been another explosion. I don't know what's happened, but it's all just going wrong. We're going to eat this gapple just so we can heal up a bit, and then we can use some wood and some iron to make a shield. This place is an absolute mess now, and there's also creepers galore. It's getting a little bit dicey, but it's all worth it for the chance of loot. Shield! No, thank you. I don't know why I'm having to go through this whole anime showdown just so that I can get a few pieces of hay. Oh, gimme. We gotta get out of it. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. Oh my god! Okay, fun, calm video. That's what this is. I almost lost my life for a staggering 6 pieces of bread. Have I learned my lesson, though? Absolutely not. That's why I'm just going straight back. We have managed to convince basically all the pillagers to jump off of the ship and fight us, so this might actually work out. Because now we can just wrap around to the back and build up. And then we'll just go ahead and tiptoe our way in. Lovely. There's some wheat seeds in this chest, which is actually pretty nice. Oh, look at all this hay that's now ours. We've got some bones here, which are going to be really useful for bone meal. And would you look at this? 3 chests at the back here just for us. Although one has an empty map, so that's kind of lame. We've got bread in this one and more bread in this one. As much as I'm tempted to continue risking my life, now I'm actually pretty happy with what we've gotten from this boat. The weather has also turned rather ominous. Let's not hope that's a sign of things to come. Here we are, home sweet home, although it's not particularly sweet, to be honest. I've activated our map now. It should be pretty cool to see the progress on the base by the end of the 100 days. Let's start working on farming up some spruce saplings. Once we have enough saplings to start growing the giant spruce trees, we will absolutely be in the money. The tree chopper mod just kind of seems to work whenever it feels like, which means sometimes I gotta break all the leaves the old-fashioned way. Hey, we finally got ourselves an oak sapling. I can't tell if there's a villager that's just swimming out there. I have no idea what that is. Nah, never mind. Must have just been one of those squids. We've got enough saplings for that big tree. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is progress. And we got one of the tree types that has a load of leaves, so we should get even more saplings. I will say I would not mind some iron tools right now because these stone ones are painfully slow. Oh, okay, well now the tree chopper mod's decided to work. I think it's if I crouch. Oh, right, I've got it all figured out now. I'm learning. I probably should have just read the mod description and not wasted time. Wait, this spawned underneath the raft? That is bizarre. We're actually almost out of stone somehow, so a mining trip is soon in order. Since we have barely any fuel either, we're going to go ahead and start making some charcoal. Now that I actually know what I'm doing, I should be able to chop down this entire tree. Just takes a bit longer. There we go. Just like that, we have almost 2 stacks of spruce logs. I've also just chopped down all the acacia as well. Okay, now wood is no longer just as rare as diamonds, which is rather nice. There's a barrel out here that we'll grab as well. What kind of goodies do you have for us? A bit of coal, that's not bad. Our little farm's doing its best to tide us over. Thankfully, we have plenty of bread, so I'm not worried about food for the time being. Oh, look, it's a hammerhead shark. Please don't maul me in front of the viewers. That would not be pleasant. I'm getting a little strip mine going because my top priority right now is some iron and maybe even some diamonds for a pickaxe. Any bonus coal that we find down here is nice as well. Thank goodness we've finally found an iron vein. Right, well, I've just stumbled into a massive cave, plus we even have some more iron here. The new caves and cliffs terrain is great and all, but I really miss these old ravines. These are so charming. We now have enough iron that we can upgrade to a shiny new pickaxe, and we'll also grab a sword, and finally a bucket. That means we can actually start picking up the redstone and gold we've been coming across. More importantly, though, let's get on with checking out this ravine. We'll be able to use our water to safely cross the lava lake. If we're lucky, we'll find diamonds, but at the very least, we should have enough iron for a full set of armor and tools. Okay, doesn't look like this side has any of the blue stuff. That's fine, that's fine. I'm a patient man. This is a lie, I'm really not. I'm rather worried about a skeleton wandering over and then sniping us off into the lava. Just look at how many creepers are here. The thing is, when you're in hard difficulty, mobs will happily take any amount of full damage just to try and get to you, which means flying creepers are very much a problem. Here we go, case in point, they're all jumping down. No, thank you. This is one of the main dangers of an ocean-only world. Because there's no land above for monsters to spawn on, they all congregate in the caves. We've got 24 iron now, which isn't a ton, but it is enough to make all the tools and armor that I want. And also, I really just don't want to die to a bajillion mobs in there. I'm going to use our first few pieces of iron to make ourselves an iron axe. Now the trees shall cower in fear. Oh my god, that is massive. It's no match for our axe, however. We'd also have another barrel, which isn't too bad. And our first few potatoes have actually grown, which is nice. As everything gets smelted, I'll slowly start crafting each piece of iron armor. Should probably start collecting a bit of oak wood as well. We should be able to make a start on our actual base in no time. All that we've got missing from our armor set now is a pair of boots, but I'm going to keep this iron for spare tools. We have enough wood now that I'm starting to mark out the outlines of our actual base. I want there to be a giant ring of circles on the outside, and then each will have their own purpose. So I'm thinking this, for example, can be a giant farm that will sort out all of our needs for food. And then the circles will surround the main base area in the middle, which will have a ton of different buildings on it. I'm thinking a little village could be quite cool. I've gone into this with no plan, which is certainly a rather questionable decision. I don't know, man. I'm just going to build circles and hope that it all works out. I'm also really hoping this all lines up. Otherwise, it's going to be a complete and utter nightmare. Also, there's something over there we'll go check out in a bit. This all does line up, thank goodness. I continued building the outer circles of the base. They were very finicky, so this took quite a while. I then moved on to the 4 smaller circles in between them, and I meant to time-lapse this, but I'm a complete moron, so I just forgot. So instead, we've got this first-person footage. It's not like I was placing a ton of blocks here. It was just difficult because I had to make sure that everything would line up correctly. I've ended up getting some dark oak saplings out of the barrel, which is a lovely find. I want to go ahead and start building the first of our circles by bringing them up 1 block like this, although I want to use some shroom lights as a light source. And of course, in order to get those, we need to get the nether, which means we need a diamond pickaxe so that we can actually mine some obsidian. I gotta head right back down into these mines. Wait, actually no, why am I doing this? Let's head out and try and find ourselves a pirate ship. That just sounds a whole lot more entertaining. Also, if you're wondering why I always have my fishing rod in our hotbar, it's because this special fishing rod is hard-coded so you can never drop it. As you can see, it just keeps getting auto-added back to my inventory. Anyway, we're in our trusty acacia boat, and we're first going to go and check out whatever that is in the distance. And as we've gotten closer, I can see that it's an ocean ruin. Unfortunately, there's no chest in here, so it serves as just a little bit of decoration, I guess. These coral reefs do look very, very pretty at night, I must say. Well, we found another of these pirate ships. We have much better gear than we did the first time, so we should be able to raid this more efficiently. And there's also some ocean ruins underwater, actually. The chest doesn't really have anything good, but that's fine. The pillagers are slowly falling off exactly as planned. What is it with these pirate ships and the constant creeper spawns? There's a few skeletons up here as well. We better clear them out. I'm just going to go ahead and sleep up here so we can turn it to day and burn up some of the more annoying mobs. This should be ever so slightly easier now with any luck. This area is empty now, so that's a little bit of progress. Our shield has now given up the ghost, which is basically the worst possible thing that could happen, given that we just have no defense against the creepers or the pillagers or anything. Run! That was a free piece of vine here. That's rather convenient. Here we go. We'll just aim for the ankles and take them all out that way. As everyone knows, getting hit in the ankles too many times is very fatal. Get out of here. I know that there's got to be some kind of treasure stash on here somewhere, and I'm determined to find it. Ooh, there is a barrel buried in all of this hay, and it's acceptable, I guess. We've got some iron. We do have another pile of hay here, so I'll check that for any hidden barrels, of which there are none. I don't like that there's creepers roaming around with all that exposed TNT. Well, there's diamond horse armor in this barrel, so that's cool, I guess, but we're in the middle of the ocean. Why would we need a horse? Where would we even acquire a horse? Is this supposed to be the amazing loot at the end? A bottle of enchanting and an emerald? There's multiple spawners guarding this ship, by the way. Why would anyone want to risk their life looting this thing? Well, I know better now, so I'm going to ignore those from now on. There is an ocean monument over here, which is kind of cool, although I can't see why we'd want to go in it. We'd also have this ruined portal right here, which I will loot. We've got a clock and not much else, to be honest. No, thank you. Already another one of those has shown up. Ooh, I can just about make out sugarcane on this island here. This is a lovely find. Also, there's just way too many of these pirate ships. No, Minecraft, I'm not going to go and loot the 6th ship that you've shown us. Hey, check it out. We've got this little boat right here. It does seem to be full of axe-wielding enemies, though, so we're going to have to be careful of that. Hey, the fish are even joining in on attacking me. That is a low blow. Thankfully, the mobs seem to be fighting amongst themselves. Right, we've made it aboard. Let's see what this place has to offer us. We'll check the crow's nest, which unfortunately does not have any loot. We'll also check out the captain's quarters, which has some cave spiders, as well as, okay, a bit of iron, not bad. Plus, we have some bookshelves. And then we also have below decks, which has one guy guarding the entire area. Ooh, nobody does have a sword, and I've almost just let him out because I'm an idiot. No, I'm sorry, my friend. You gotta go. We have a splash potion of harming for some reason. A fermented spider eye is not bad. And we also have some more bookshelves. And then there's this chest out back here, which has some more iron, some harming potions again, and a power 3 book. Not the worst little detail, but I would really like some diamonds. I have come across a shipwreck. Now, this could provide us with a buried treasure map. The chest has a globe, which is cool, I guess. That'll make for a nice decoration. We do also have a chest below decks, which does not have a treasure map either. Instead, we've got blue pickerel weed. There is another chest at the far end of the ship, though, which also doesn't have a treasure map. However, there is also another shipwreck here, so we'll give that a look. And that's led us to find our first diamond! At last. The other chest does have bamboo. That's huge. We can start growing that. Although now that I think about it, we can only really use it for decorative purposes, because this is 1.16, so there's no bamboo wood yet. We have also got some kind of underwater castle thing here. Ah, okay. It looks like a little zombie spawner type thing. You guys all have swords. No, thank you. I was going down trying to find some other floors. It looks like this place leads directly into an abandoned mineshaft. This place might be the answer to our diamond woes. Can you not, please? I'm just trying to find some diamonds. Leave me alone. We've also got these white blocks here. I do want to check those out. This is sediment stone, which can be turned into pebbles. And then those pebbles just get turned back into sediment stone. So there's no other crafts for this thing. First, I was all excited about you, but you are the star of the show. Now, this is the big reveal. Please be at least 2. Please be at least 2. Please be at least 2. Yes! Just making sure there's no others hiding around, which there doesn't seem to be. And in here, we've got some rope plus a golden apple. We can finally craft ourselves a diamond pickaxe. Oh, that's beautiful. I've already found us this lava pool right here, so we can just go ahead and turn that to obsidian. We got to get 10 pieces for the portal and 4 for an enchanting table. Right, there we go. We've got all 14 pieces, or 15 actually, because I can't count. Right, lovely. We'll just make our way back up to the surface of the ocean. We'll start the rather long boat ride back home. Well, that's 15 minutes of my life I'm never getting back. We've ended up getting this barrel with a jungle sapling, which is a lovely welcome back present. We've pretty much got every wood type in the game now. I mean, we are missing birch, but who cares about birch? We've got so much stuff now. I've added an extra double chest. We'll set up a very much temporary nether portal right at the back of our first raft. Then we'll make our flint and steel. We just got to pray that we get a good spawn. Well, we are currently in a pit, which is not ideal, but at least there's no lava around us. Well, this entire area was a dead end, so I'm just going to mine forward and hope that we find something interesting. I say something interesting. What we really need is a warped forest or a crimson forest, because that way we'll have all the shroomlights we could ever want. Having access to quartz isn't half bad either, because it means we can get some very easy XP if we need it. Oh, okay, well, we found exactly what we wanted. Things are going a little too well, so I'm half expecting Minecraft to just dunk me into lava with no warning. Oh, okay, well, this is almost as bad as that. We've got crimson mosquitoes. These things are horrible. They're in many, many mod packs, and I hate them. Instead of being able to collect shroomlights in peace, we are now going to be harassed at every turn. See, this is exactly what I was talking about. Fortunately, they don't do all that much damage, but they're still pretty annoying. I couldn't even finish that sentence without another one latching on. To be honest, I shouldn't really be complaining. I recently played a zombie apocalypse mod pack with some of the most questionably balanced mobs I've ever seen. Guys, my blood cannot be this delicious. Go away. They're treating me like an all-you-can-eat buffet. I haven't seen a single hoglin yet, which I'm rather surprised about. Usually those guys are invading the crimson forests. Can you not try and stab me, please? That's just rude. Your dad's just gone out for some lava, little man. I'm sure he'll be back at some point. Maybe. He knows the truth. He's on to me. I can't get any peace in here, which honestly makes sense because we're in hell, but ignore that. I'm just trying to mind my business. Man goes to literal hell and then is surprised that it's actually not all sunshine and rainbows. We are actually incredibly low on food, and we've collected a pretty respectable 36 shroomlights, so I'm going to make my way back to the portal. Thankfully, our portal wasn't actually in the Crimson Forest, otherwise we may have been getting some very unwanted mosquito visitors. I was just about to launch into a spiel about how we're going to start building when this guy showed up. Oh, no, wait, the lead recipe was changed in 1.20, so we're not going to be able to craft one. I was going to try and keep him as a mascot. We've also got another barrel to check. Oh, there we go. There's the birch sapling that we were missing. Anyway, moving on to the actual base design, we can start off by bringing these circles up by 1 block. I'm thinking we have our shroomlights set back by 1 block and then have a piece of glass in front of them. Then we'll go ahead and place down our spruce logs, and we'll make sure to strip everything to give it a nice clean look. I've just realized the indent idea won't work because this is where the floor of the area is going to go, so this won't make any sense. We'll also go ahead and add some trapdoors for extra texture. The dark oak might actually be too dark, so we'll replace that with oak logs. We do of course have to repeat the design around the entire circle. I've added a few extra trapdoors here and there on the curve, but I don't want to add too many just for the sake of not making it all over complicated. The whole circle is now complete. This area is going to be where our farm goes, so we need a rather large amount of dirt in order to fill it in. Thankfully, there's lots and lots of dirt that we can just shovel up underground. I'll also grab some andesite while we're down here because I want to have a textured stone path running through the middle of the farm. It feels very strange to be in a Minecraft world where where dirt actually has inherent value. Oh, okay, this whole area is flooded, so we're not going to be able to go any further. Thankfully, there's more dirt on the upper levels here. There's also some more dirt pockets in our strip mine. I'll also expand the strip mine a little bit because I am craving 2 extra diamonds so we can get set up with an enchantment table. Even though we'll just be getting very basic low-level enchantments, even something as simple as Unbreaking 1 will give our tools and equipment a much longer lifespan. I know that the 1.18 update has massively improved caves and have made them into a huge spectacle, but I kind of miss this old-fashioned strip mining. There's something pretty therapeutic about just walking in a straight line and hearing nothing but the sound of blocks breaking. And also the other part is the deep slate takes about 5 years per piece to mine. Just not really what you want. I've started slowly making my way back, and unfortunately we have not found any diamonds yet. I guess a bit more lapis isn't too bad. If you guys have ever seen the image of that guy who's digging a tunnel and then he's about 2 centimeters away from a huge pile of diamonds and then he turns around and leaves it and doesn't know what he's missed, that's how I feel whenever I go mining in this game. I will go ahead and end off my search here though. We've got all of our texture blocks, so it's time to start working on the path. I do want to keep it fairly central, but I'm trying to vary it a little bit so that it looks more interesting. This definitely does take away a pretty noticeable amount of farming space, but hey, it's all about the aesthetics here. We do not care about efficiency. Having said that though, if I starved to death because my path took up too much farming space, that would be a pretty terrible death. We're almost finished with this now. When we can afford them, placing some lanterns on here would be rather nice. As you can see, the farm's been split up into 4 quadrants. We'll have sugarcane, carrots, potatoes, and wheat. In terms of the water for the sugarcane farm, we're going to use waterlogged trapdoors so then we can hide the water completely. And it also means while we're running around harvesting everything, we won't just fall into a little puddle of water. We'll go ahead and do this checkerboard pattern the whole way around. All the trapdoors have been placed, forming this very satisfying pattern. Now we got to go ahead and fill every single one of these up with water. Usually this would take way longer, but we can just bucket out the water directly under the trapdoors. Right, there we go. That's all done now. We'll go ahead and plant our measly 8 pieces of sugarcane, but soon we'll have enough to fill out this entire area. It's now time for us to work on the other 3 crop fields and get this area filled out. All of our crops have been planted, so now we're going to figure out what we're going to use for the barrier of this place. We'll craft ourselves some upgraded fences using stripped logs, which is very expensive, but these could look really good. We're also going to extend these oak pillars up by 1 and then cap them off with a slab, and then in between we can throw in these upgraded fences. Since that design has worked out quite well, we'll replicate it all the way around, and then on these diagonals here where the fences would look bad because they don't connect, we can actually replace them with oak leaves. That also helps to save on logs just because these fences are so expensive. I'm going to leave the areas closest to the next circle empty for now because we of course need to design some kind of bridge so that we can move from circle to circle. The first of our sugarcane has grown as well, which is lovely. Originally I was going to replace these torches with lanterns, but those would get pretty annoying if we're running down this path because we'll just knock into all of them, so we're going to replace them with shroom lights instead. The area that it makes the most sense to work on next is of course the central area where our base is going to go, because I'm getting tired of jumping on this dinky little raft here and having to use these 2 unorganized chests for our storage. It is time for a lavish upgrade. Because this ring is a fair bit bigger than the other ones, I'm adding in some extra shroom lights. We'll throw in the usual spruce wood and oak detailing of course, and then we got to strip every single log here. I can't wait till we upgrade to a diamond axe because we are burning through our iron ones. We also got to add in our trapdoors absolutely everywhere. We also need to think about some kind of bridge design to connect everything. I mainly want to use jungle slabs for the floor of this giant raft, so we'll start with those. I do actually have an idea that involves glass. It's nothing groundbreaking, it's just going to involve some glass strips. Although now that I'm looking at this, I don't love it. Let's leave the jungle planks as is for now and work on the railing for the bridge. We've got these oak columns like this with trapdoors on top, and then we'll use the upgraded fences in between. This area was still feeling a bit barren though, so I've added in these hedges here. And as a final touch, we'll add in a shroom light in the middle. And now that I think about it, what about some spruce slabs surrounding it? Yeah, I like that. I'm going to start filling out the circle with a giant cross of jungle slabs, although I want these corner pieces here to be nature-themed areas. I'm thinking grass, flowers, trees, that kind of thing. I've got most of this area filled out with jungle wood, although we're going to need more dirt in order to fill out these sections here. Also, this is the state of our farm at the moment. As you can see, our carrots and potatoes are slowly starting to fill out the area. The wheat is taking a lot longer because we only had 2 seeds to begin with. I've actually just found some spare dirt in our chests, so we might actually have enough. I know that all this is the ugly basic dirt right now, but we should be able to find some islands at some point with grass on them, and by that point we'll have silk touch and we can just grab some grass and transplant it into our base. Well, we were able to fill out 2 of the 4 quadrants with our dirt, which isn't too bad. However, we are going to have to head back into the mines and grind for more. While we're down here, I'm also holding out hope that we might stumble across some more diamonds. Also, if you're enjoying the video so far, consider subscribing to the channel. There's no fancy pitch or anything like that, although if you watch me regularly, you might have been randomly unsubscribed because there is a glitch on YouTube where that's happening to people, so double check. We found yet another abandoned mineshaft, which I definitely wasn't expecting, and I see diamonds right there. That's perfect. However, I don't have a shield on me because I've been way too busy working on building to to bother carrying it, so I'm going to need to be careful. I do not want to lose my life down here. No, thank you. I've successfully managed to wall off most of the enemies in the area, so we should be able to enjoy our diamonds in a second. Oh, it's a big vein as well. I mean, it's not massive. We've got 5 actually, so it's pretty decent. This place is absolutely chock full of every single ore conceivable, so if we need anything, we are going to be sure to return. I've already shoveled up all of the dirt that we need, and we've got the diamonds as a bonus, so I see no need to stay down here any longer. As I say that though, I'm displaying biblical levels of greed by not stopping and grabbing this huge vein of coal. Alright, now it's time to get going for real. We're immediately going to go ahead and craft ourselves a beautiful new diamond axe. It seems like a new barrel has spawned over here for us as well. I haven't been bothering to organize these, I've just been piling them up in the corner here. We'll go ahead and get all of our dirt placed in to finish this part off. With our area now prepped and ready, we've got to ask ourselves, what do we actually want to build here? Does anyone else get that in Minecraft where you flatten out a giant area for this cool, awesome base that you're going to build, and then once it comes to the time where it's all done and flattened, you have no idea what you want to actually do? That is the conundrum that I'm facing right now, although since we've got this circular thing going on, a circular dome-shaped base could be kind of cool. I'm preemptively using dirt so that I can mark out the general area of the structure. It's always important to plan out any big structure before you start, because otherwise you start getting down all your decoration blocks, and then you have to tear it all out because you realize it's not exactly what you wanted. Not planning especially hurts in early survival when your tools aren't even enchanted, because it means any mistake takes forever to clean up. See, this is why we make a plan, because I've already decided this feels too small, so we're going to bring it out by a few blocks. I have run out of dirt yet again, but the general idea of the base is present. Surprise, surprise, we're going to be using more spruce wood for this. I just think it looks good, okay? Sue me if you want. Or actually, maybe don't, because I kind of need the money. My car keeps breaking down. Right now, I'm just trying to get the general shape down before I start working on detail, but it does mean that it looks like something a 5-year-old built. That might actually be rude to 5-year-olds, not gonna lie. I've got enough of a blob right now that I can start working on refining it. We're definitely gonna want to use dark oak here, because it acts as a really nice contrast to the light spruce wood. Originally, I was gonna have the dark oak logs in addition to the spruce, but now I think I'm gonna incorporate them right into the build itself. We will also strip the logs because it just looks a bit more refined. This enderman seems to be just staring off into nothingness, so I'm just gonna evict him from our property like so. Which didn't work. He tanked that for some reason. Whatever, I guess you can live here now. I was thinking of doing stairs and trapdoors, but I don't actually like that. Instead, we'll do trapdoors at the bottom and then signs above them. And that gives us this nice smooth pillar look without being super obtrusive. Okay, this is a good start. We're mining out these central blocks right here so that we can create a rather grand entrance. If you could stop teleporting everyone jump scaring me, that would be very much appreciated. I do tend to chronically spam this kind of entrance in every video that I make, but it just looks really, really nice. Right now, it looks a little bit boxy, but we can fix that by adding some stairs and trapdoors. And that gives us this really clean, detailed look. This enderman teleporting around everywhere is starting to annoy me, so I'm just gonna slime him. I'm sorry, man. You just gotta go. You're too annoying. I do like this entrance, but I'm thinking maybe I'll just get rid of the door, because we are in the middle of a raft after all, so having this feels a little bit pointless. Yeah, I like that a lot more. I would have the door if I was building, say, a cabin or a super nice rich person house up in the woods or something, but for a raft, I think this is better. Also, that enderman dropped a pearl when we savagely killed him, which means we are now one step closer to being able to fight the Ender Dragon. The detail work is going to be quite repetitive on a build of this size, but I won't make you guys sit through all of it. The outer wall is now being constructed, and I've cut a bunch of holes for windows because I want this structure to let a lot of light in. Decorating the windows is a bit tricky because we've got these signs and trapdoors right here that are blocking our way. A pretty simple solution we can use is some oak trapdoors on the sides to form shutters. And even though it's pretty expensive, we can do fence gates like this and then campfires on the top in order to form some very nice looking things on the top of the windows. I don't really know what these are called, to be honest, but they look kind of nice. For these diagonal windows right here, we'll of course need to use some full glass blocks, but then we can also use some glass panes on the sides to make it look like the window is bigger than it actually is. Then we can place down some leaves at the bottom and some slabs at the top. Okay, well, not like that because they're mismatched. What I meant to do was I've just done it again. What I meant to do was this. There we go. We could also try, instead of these glass panes, using some fences. To be honest, I like that a bit more. It gives the window a bit more definition. And there we go. Those details have been replicated all the way around the first floor. We're going to build balconies for every single floor, and that's where we're actually going to store our stuff. I'm thinking this bottom floor here could be a giant ocean-themed area with waterfalls spilling down from the roof. Once we get silk touch, we could add in coral, we could add seagrass to add a bit of greenery. I think it'll look really, really cool. We obviously can't afford to do that right now though, so I'm going to build the first floor balcony, the second floor outer wall, then I'm going to move all of our stuff inside of our sort of half-finished house. We'll have lots lots and lots of ladders leading up to the balcony so that we can exit from any area that we desire. In order to visually separate each floor from each other so it doesn't become one giant blob of a structure, we'll use composters. These are different enough in texture that it will signify at first glance, okay, this is where one floor ends and another starts. Once again, I have yet another circle mapped out, so we just have to fill everything in. I am actually going to use oak planks though, because if we use spruce for the floor, it's going to start to blend in with these spruce walls. I've used full blocks on the outermost area and then slabs for the rest so that we can really emphasize the height of this area. Because if we use full blocks instead of these slabs, it would start to feel a bit cramped in here. And plus, by doing this, we get a nice bit of layering. Right now, I'm trying to add some extra detail to this outside ring of composters. I've just thrown together a bunch of slabs and trapdoors to create this nice looking line thing. It's only the beginning, but already I'm very happy with this. Just got to replicate that detail all the way around like usual. While we've been building, our crops have of course been growing. In fact, we should be able to finish the sugarcane as well now. Yeah, there we go. That's another crop field finished. Unfortunately, before we can start work on the second floor, we have to collect more wood. I've collected all of the blocks we need, so I'm going to time-lapse the second floor for you guys. I now have the very fun task of organizing everything that we own into our new storage system. Because I have the insatiable drive to decorate absolutely everything that I ever placed down in Minecraft ever, I'm going to go ahead and throw in some trapdoors on the edge here. There we go, just makes that look a little bit nicer. The progress is slow for sure, but our base is starting to take shape. Here's that map we found a while ago, and what we can actually do is put it into our inventory, but make sure that we don't look at it, and then we can put it on a crafting table. And then if we surround it with glass panes, we should be able to lock it, although now that I'm thinking about it, I believe you need a cartography table instead. That is really cheap to make, so I'll whip one of those up in just a second. There we go, that's our cartography table acquired. And now we can throw in our map and a glass pane to create our locked map. This is what the area originally looked like. If we now craft ourselves up a new map, we can take a look at what it looks like now. And I'd say there's definitely been just a little bit of change. Unfortunately, the base is in a bit of a weird spot where it doesn't perfectly fit on one map. So with that being said, we'll activate a second map just so we can see the whole thing in all its glory. Unfortunately, we don't have item frames to display these, but we will at some point. We'll just make sure to get everything locked like so. And with that being said, we've started to document the history of our base. Everything's been pretty much fully moved at this point. I just have to go ahead and organize all these barrels as well. Although there's not that much that we really need in these, so I might just leave them and be lazy. A pufferfish to make water breathing potions in the future could be quite nice, because I do want to explore some ocean monuments. Oh no, there's another barrel floating out here as well. It's really nothing special, although the obsidian is nice. I can declare that this raft is now our official base of operations. This is enough building progress for the time being. Let's head out into the ocean and see what we can find. Supposedly there are shipwrecks and also boats that have villagers in or around them, so I really want to find those. I mean, how am I supposed to create a wonderful, prospering nation without also exploiting my citizens? It's just a fact, really. I gotta do it. There is an ocean monument, so I'll keep that in mind. Plus, I can just barely see the outline of a pirate ship. That one there is just the same old ship we've seen 1,000 times, but this one looks new. It's also packed full of monsters, so I'm gonna be careful of them. Oh my god, and there's multiple trident drowned around here as well. No. Let's get around the other side of this boat. I must survive. I haven't been given the chance to even build my empire yet. We've got a brand new iron sword in this chest, so sure, why not? And this chest has a nice shiny diamond for us. Oh, and also we've got some bookshelves back here too. And we've actually got a little bit more loot in this room. Respiration 2, prot 3, that's not bad. And we also have sharpness 2, which isn't great. Those trident drowned are definitely still in the area, so we're gonna get out of here as quickly as possible. Here we are, next boat spotted. Seems to be the same vibe as before with a whole bunch of monsters on it. That means we've got the spider room here with pretty mediocre loot. And then in this room here, we have another diamond. Lovely. Plus more protection 3, which is nice. And even more bookshelves, so we might be able to make a maxed out enchanting setup without having to bother with getting leather. This expedition has already devolved into me looting every monster ship I can lay my hands on. I'm able to convince most of the zombies to just walk off the edge, which means we don't have to deal with them. Although the captains with their dual axes are terrifying. This might actually be the most chill cave spider in existence. He's just not attacking at all, but I'm still gonna kill him. Instead of strip mining, why didn't I just go out into the open ocean? This is so much more efficient. There's a beehive in here, which actually might be kind of cool, so I'll scoop that up. And finally, we have yet another diamond. Plus, all of this fighting is getting us closer and closer to level 30. I do see what looks like a little rowboat over here. Oh my god, it contains an evoker. Why does it contain an evoker? Whose idea was this? I really want to kill him, because this little rowboat might have some extra loot for us. If we camp out next to him, his summoned vexes should die in about 1 to 2 minutes, and then we can actually attack him properly. There we go, you can see that one taking damage over there. They should all be gone now, so we'll charge straight back in. He has summoned them, but we should just be able to kill him here as long as we dive underwater. Oh my god. I don't know how we're not dead down here, but I know that we definitely should be. Oh my god. And now there's a trident drown joining in, man. Give me a break. Go away. You're ruining my pristine shield. I am getting this guy's Totem of Undying if it is the last thing I do. And I mean, it very nearly was the last thing I ever did. There we go. I killed him. And he just did not drop a Totem of Undying, so that's awesome. Vexers don't really seem to like water very much. Well, at the very least, now that that guy's dead, we can see what we nearly died for, which was some fish and some gold ingots. That's just wonderful. The search for villagers continues. I mean, if it comes to it, we could just get 2 zombie villagers from the caves and then cure them, but that would take an astronomical amount of time. Interestingly enough, this structure here actually isn't an ocean monument, it's an ocean ruin, and it does also have a barrel, and that barrel contains a diamond. Lovely. I've come across this structure before in a modded playthrough, and I believe the barrel is the only bit of loot you can find. Also, there is a trident drowned here, and I really don't want to deal with him. This island here is huge. This is the biggest landmass we've found so far. There's a pillager ship right here, and I'm gonna very meticulously check for any sign of evokers before I even consider getting aboard. It seems fairly safe. Oh no, there was an evoker. Get out of here. It's annoying though, because I don't know what kind of loot is on that boat. This island is overrun with monsters. Look at that. There we go. We've got yet another small boat over here. It has villagers on it and an iron golem, which I don't want. I don't know why I'm talking about him. We've got villagers. We have actually got villagers. Oh my goodness. Yes, 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 yes. We can finally start doing some trading. We do have to rob them first though. That's customary. They have plenty of gold plus the usual bookshelves. Oh, okay. Interesting. These guys actually have some pre-applied trades. This guy wants a Nautilus shell for 10 emeralds. I think I have just the thing for you, my good sir. We just go in here, take a little rummage through his possessions, and oh, there we go. And there's a second one here as well. And there we go. We can just sell his own items straight back to him. The captain has a bunch of map trays, but because this is a custom map, none of these will actually work. We're quite far away from home, so I'm not really very enthusiastic about trying to row these guys all the way back. Let's check underground for a lava pit, because then we can make a nether portal and see if nether travel would be easier. Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Problem solved at least. I've collected all of the necessary obsidian now, so let's make our way back up. Right, we've constructed our nether portal now. We've got a pretty decent nether spawn, all things considered, but overall, I think it would take far longer to construct a bridge to take the villagers back on, rather than just row them back. You know you can just teleport, right? You don't have to sit in the water and look all sad. What is this guy doing? I mean, I think we might as well just put him out of his misery. Alright, kidnapping time. It's going to be you first, and you're just going to walk straight in. Taking this guy back is going to be a rather lengthy affair, and then even once we're done, we've got to go all the way back yet again. There's a shipwreck here that I missed the first time, but I don't want to try and drown just randomly attacking this guy, so I'll continue. At last, we've made it back. We're going to have to create a little villager breeder out here rather than on our base, just because we've used all these composters in our build, which means any villagers that we get are going to try and become farmers. So what we're going to need to do is breed them, lock their trades, and then we can ship them off to our island. I've set up a little temporary area here to contain our villager. He seems to be panicking a little bit, which honestly, pretty understandable. I'm going to grab some shears to collect lots and lots of wool for beds, and then we'll make our way all the way back to that villager ship to get our second villager. Hello there, peasants. I have made my return. Although before I do any abducting, I got to remember to go and grab us all that wool. There we go. 60 pieces of wool should be plenty. Now then, what was I doing? Oh yeah, kidnapping. Right, there we go. Time to make the second trip back. I wish he wasn't so interested in sniffing my neck, because that's a bit questionable, but whatever. And here we go. We've got our second captive home. I don't know if we necessarily need a zombie infection / curing area for our villagers. We might just be able to work with their normal prices. For now, we'll just focus on building a functional breeder. This is so horrifically ugly, but it should get the job done. Well, why have you done that then? Why are you just making my life more difficult than it needs to be? These villagers do behave pretty strangely because they're custom. So for example, this guy should be latching onto this barrel here, but instead he's not interested at all. Fortunately, we can use boats to capture and then row them inside. All right, there we go. We also got to pay a visit to our potato farm, so we actually have enough food to breed them. One harvest of this field has provided us with this many potatoes, so it's safe to say our empire is sorted for food for the time being. While we're here, we may as well harvest the carrots and wheat as well. Get up, people. It's time to populate the empire. This one guy is absolutely chill max. He does not care about the food. In fact, okay, there we go. He finally got up. He didn't even care about this guy kicking him in the face at first. I'm expecting great results. I shall be back soon. My lack of lighting in this place is finally coming back to bite me. Ooh, no, please get out of here. I forgot to record. I've just been building the bridge to our new tree farm. We're going to have to wait for the villagers to produce 10 new families for us. So while we do, I'm just building this area. The circle design is the exact same as we're used to. Logs, shroom lights, and trapdoors. I'm also going to go ahead and add a jungle plank walkway around the edge and then fill in the middle with dirt. With the basic area now built, we've got to plan out where each of our trees are going to grow. For spruce trees specifically, we actually need to grow them at least 2 blocks off of the ground, because otherwise, when they grow, they spawn a bunch of disgusting brown podzol, and it just goes everywhere. Since eventually we're going to be turning all of this ugly dirt into grass, so I do not want to ruin that. Here's my idea. These 2 areas here will both be for jungle, these 2 will be for dark oak, and then this area in the middle will build as a little giant rock thing, and then we can grow the spruce trees on top of that. And then of course around the general area we can dot some regular trees. We're also going to have each area marked with spruce slabs so that we can replant the trees in the correct spots. I see an iron golem on top of the villager breeder. That's a very good sign that there are plenty of villagers inside now. We'll go check that out in a little bit. That's all of the outside areas done, so now we got to construct our little mini mountain. I'm doing my best to make this look natural. I've got the base structure done, so now I'm adding in some stairs to make it a bit more visually interesting. And it also just makes it look a bit bumpier and a bit rougher and a bit more like an actual rock. There we go, that looks a lot better. We'll now go ahead and get all of our saplings placed down. We better also get some lights placed in before this place becomes a mob farm. And with that now done, we'll check on our prisoners. I'm not even going to joke and pretend they're villagers, because no, they are completely captive. They will never have any freedom. Oh my goodness, what has been going on in here? Well, I'm not complaining. All I can see is a group of future workers whose dreams shall be crushed. Although now that I think about it, if we're going to start trading with villagers, we should probably build a place for them to actually stay. And speaking of building, check out the tree farm. It's already proving to be a massive success. This circle here is where our villagers shall reside. This also means we're going to have to work on some new bridge designs so that we can actually reach it. Octopus, you're dying because you're not in the water that's 2 centimeters away. What is wrong with you? They seem to have been given the exact same AI as the Minecraft squids, which is to say, they're incredibly stupid. Because of the diameter of these smaller circles, a bridge like this actually doesn't correctly line up. And that means we're going to have to get a little creative with how we design this thing. This took ages to line up properly, but I finally have something that I'm happy with. We're also going to be swapping around a few of the oak log positions just so that we can have a clean entrance just like over there. The fences do look a bit weird because they're on a diagonal, so they obviously don't connect, but this is the best kind of design that I can really come up with for this. They do look a little bit better on this curve though. The leaves on the outside are definitely doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. We'll also throw in a few shroom lights on here like usual. And you know what? Given the constraints that we have, I'm quite happy with this. Unfortunately, our shroom light levels have reached critical lows, so we're having to take a break to collect some more. I knew these guys would be coming, but it doesn't make them any less annoying. I don't know why I didn't just choose like glowstone or something to make this a million times easier on myself. Although I've just discovered something I wish I knew earlier. If we chop down an entire tree like this, all the shroom lights, well, usually end up dropping. I think we just got to get rid of all the connecting logs here, and there we go. Also, nobody invited you. Go away. 25 shroom lights should be enough. That's enough nether for me. I've just made a horrible discovery, which is these logs are actually lined up incorrectly. This one should be here, which means this entire bridge is wrong. I will be back soon after I tear this thing down and get it fixed. Right, there we go. The bridge is looking nice and uniform now. Also, unfortunately, our diamond axe has broken into a million pieces, so we're gonna have to downgrade to iron for now. While we're here, we may as well also figure out this connection. Originally, we were gonna have these 2 areas connect, but I found that this looks a whole lot better. All of our fences are in, so now we'll add our leaves, as well as a mandatory shroom light. Although it doesn't really look very natural here because it doesn't fit properly, so maybe we replace this with a lantern. We'll figure something out. I just don't know what that something will be yet. We'll fill out this area with jungle planks, of course. Now we just got to figure out what we actually want to do with the space. I'll start getting a few markers in using our dirt. Yes, it's going to be yet another circle build. Look, genuinely, if we're talking about the big 3 of shapes, we've got circle, square, and triangle, and I will not accept anything else. Honestly, another domed build like the one our base will eventually become might be the play here. We'll replace all of the dirt with dark oak logs, and then we'll bring them all up. The only thing is, I don't want this to look like a mini carbon copy of our base, so we're going to build a giant stone tower at the top of this thing. That should help give it a very nice visually distinct profile. You might be wondering why we're not sharing our giant base with the villagers, and it's because I hate them. It's just as simple as that, really. I'm thinking we use a mix of stairs and spruce logs, because I want this place to be nice and open, so it looks like a beachside hut or something. And since we've got trapdoors on top of everything, villagers perceive this as being 2 blocks tall, so they won't attempt to escape. We will, of course, be stripping all of the dark oak. I'm going to shuffle around these dark oak columns a little bit, because I can't actually see where a good spot would be to place an entrance. This is a much better design, because now we can just place a fence gate between these and have an entrance that's really easy and looks simple. Otherwise, we'd be trying to fit something in on a diagonal here, and it would just look really weird. In fact, we'll go a step further and turn these side bits here into windows, and I know this whole structure is open anyway, but I think it'll add a nice bit of extra detail. The roof setup should be reasonably simple here, at least until we get to the tower in the middle. We'll use a dark oak trim for the roof, and then the rest will be spruce. I've swapped out the floor for spruce, and I also think it would be really cool if we had a glass platform in the middle here. We'll also add an accent to this using some dark oak. And finally, we've got the shroom light in the middle. We'll also throw in some oak leaves into the ceiling just to make that a bit more visually interesting. Overall, I'm really happy with this place. The next step is to add the actual tower bit on top. I'm not really sure how this is going to look, but but I want it to be a watchtower of sorts. We could even throw in a flag at the top. I think that'd be quite cool. I do want to make sure that every single one of these logs are stripped. And then let's see how it looks if we join up all of the logs with stairs to form wooden beams. I quite like that. It looks good. We just got to do that on every single side like so. We'll then go ahead and join everything up. We'll then use some oak trap doors to form a guardrail. This lookout tower has turned out really nice. We get a view of the whole raft. We do still need to sort out a way down though. You can't have floating ladders in Minecraft unfortunately, so we'll go with the next best thing, which is some trap doors with ladders on them. You do need to jump in order to actually get on the ladder, which should hopefully stop villagers from using it. In terms of getting wool for a flag, our best bet is just to head to one of the many pirate ships that spawn out on these waters and then absolutely ransack their sails. As long as we don't get sniped off by pillagers here, we should be completely fine. I would try and make the British flag using white, blue, and red, but unfortunately we don't really have a renewable way of getting red dye. I mean, we can kill the iron golems that the villagers create. In fact, we could set up a farm for them, but that would be pretty time consuming. We'll just go with a standard blue flag using our lapis as dye. I want to put the flag right in the center of this tower, which I've made pretty difficult for myself considering the ladder's right there, so I'm going to add a roof on top of this. We're using the same style of roof that we did for the lower part of the building so that it all looks nice and consistent. And then right here in the center is where we can place our flag. We're using different thicknesses of blocks here to go ahead and give the illusion of a proper pole. So we've got ourselves a full block here, then a wall, then fences, and now we're going to place some iron bars right on top. And then right at the top here where the flag's going to attach, we'll add in 2 more fences. Getting this to actually look like it's waving in the wind is where the real tricky stuff begins. Especially because one fall from here right now and we're going to go splat right into solid blocks. It's not till here that we're safe with the water. I haven't been commentating this because it's an incredibly fiddly process, but I've finally got something that I'm happy with. All that's left to do is to take a look at our creation from afar. I'm so happy with how this turned out, although I still need to clean up those jungle planks there. It really makes the build feel a bit more dynamic because we now have this obviously waving flag in the wind. I mean, it's not actually moving, but just use your imagination or something, I guess. Either way, the villager trading area is now open for business. We have such an easy way of collecting wood for sticks that it seems like a no-brainer to go with Fletcher villagers. There we go, this guy's got the stick trade that we want. And now comes the far more difficult process, which is capturing him. If we put his fletching table out here, he might try and lock onto it. Okay, that doesn't seem to be working. No, not you, not you. Let's try giving him a bridge. There we go, the bridge worked. Now he's separated from his family and he shall never see them again. We'll place his workstation inside, and it's very important that we put a trapdoor on top of any of these so that the villagers can't just jump up and escape. Now we should just be able to let this guy go. And there we go. He's wandering on over and he's locked in. Compared to the way I've treated villagers in some of my playthroughs, giving them a whole building like this and allowing them to free roam inside of it is an absolute luxury. You should be grateful. You have so many human rights compared to everyone else. Alrighty, next villager. Where is bro looking? What exactly is he planning here? It's just debating his life purpose. Understandable. Right, who's the next lucky villager to escape? Oh, someone's pushing his way through. What a go-getter. There we go. He's got the stick trade. And now he too shall enjoy his new lavish living conditions. Or at least he would if he wasn't a complete moron. Why are we swimming around the outside? Oh, now he's not interested in doing that. He's changed his mind. Oh, there we go. He's figured it out now. He does seem to be fleeing in an absolute panic. Although I did just see him jump up here somehow, which shouldn't be possible. We might have to install some safety barriers because I really do not want them escaping. Although this guy's trying to and he can't figure it out. So maybe this place is fine. They shouldn't be able to get out, but it's not guaranteed. So I'm going to add some extra reinforcement. Oh, see, look, we've already got some escape attempts. No, no, no. Oh, so he's trying to act all innocent now. Yeah, see, I'm onto you, mate. I'm onto you. How dare he think he can escape my dictatorship? Honestly, I kind of prefer the building with these fences. It looks a bit cooler. They yearn for home, but they shall never reach it. I'm a horrible person. Anyway, let's go cut down some trees and make a whole bunch of money off of them. Alongside getting a ton of emeralds, we can also get a bunch of XP by trading. We're already up to half a stack of emeralds. We're going to grab ourselves a blast furnace as well as a smithing table because these villagers will allow us to trade for diamond gear. I'm in for a very exciting day of ferrying villagers around. Here's our third and final Fletcher right here. There we go, he's in. I did accidentally hit him getting out of the boat and now he's going to snitch to these guys, which is rather annoying. Yeah, I'm sorry I chopped 3 of your fingers off while freeing you with my sword. Don't cry about it. God, what a drama queen. Alright, next. Okay, this place is starting to get pretty lively. I'm going to grind out a ton of stick trades so that we have enough emeralds to get that guy up to master rank. Okay, let's see if 78 emeralds are enough. I'm having to buy so many pairs of iron boots. Okay, thank goodness. Now that we've traded with him, he's given us a discount. There we go. We've got ourselves access to diamond armor now. And once we get him to master rank, we can obviously get the full set. For now, we'll just grab ourselves a pair of leggings. The Fletchers have actually reset their trades, so we should have enough for the boots as well. Yes, we do. Lovely. We're now officially half diamond. There we go. We've got a toolsmith in here as well now. I'm going to try level this guy up as much as I can because I really want some renewable diamond tools. See, this is where things are going to get annoying because he wants 3 iron for an emerald and his only other trade is 32 emeralds for a bell. I mean, we could keep buying stone hoes and stone pickaxes, but as you can see, they give him basically no XP at all. I'm thinking a mining trip is in order, although Although first we're going to go ahead and enchant ourselves a brand new diamond pickaxe. Okay, well that's a stick abomination. I'm not sure what I was cooking up when I made this. Let's actually go ahead and make ourselves the proper diamond pickaxe. I do want to have a dedicated area for enchanting. For now, we'll just have this temporary setup in our base. We've got efficiency 4 on breaking 3. Let's see if we can grab fortune on our old pickaxe. Okay, well we got silk touch on this one. That's rather useful. We are still going to need to get ourselves a mending villager though, so we can actually repair this thing. I'm really not at all interested in diamonds. The only thing I'm after is iron. That way we can finally make ourselves an anvil, and we can also trade with that one villager. I really should have left some signs down here pointing in the direction of the abandoned mineshaft. I think it was somewhere along this way though. Hey, perfect. Here we go. There's iron galore in this place for us. Oh, well there we go. These are a nice bonus, I suppose. Except it's just a 1 vein. Are you kidding me? We've got over a stack of iron now, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. I just don't know how greedy this villager's going to be. Also, I get a lot of comments about this. I'm aware I say villager weirdly. I know. Will almost 2 stacks be enough to satisfy his endless greed, do you think? We'll have to give it a go. While we wait for everything to smelt, let's see what kind of enchantment we could get on a diamond sword. Knockback 2. I'm not really feeling that. We'll enchant this later. We do at least have enough iron now to make ourselves that anvil. And actually, now we have enough experience to re-roll the enchanting table. Sharpness 3 at level 30? Are we joking? No, thank you. Let's see how far 24 gets us. It actually levels him up all the way. Oh my days, and his next trades are just as bad. 8 emeralds for an iron pick and 29 flint for 1 emerald. At least we can trade more iron to level them up. And then we'll buy his ridiculously overpriced pickaxes. Oh, I really wanted him to sell axes, but instead he's chosen to go for diamond shovels. Right, well I guess we'll level up this guy then, just so we can get the other diamond armor trades. And there we go. Diamond helmet and diamond chestplate. We can also reset our sword, and we're getting Unbreaking 3, which is a huge gamble, but I'll just go for it anyway and get completely done over. That has got to be some kind of actual war crime. Like, I'm being so serious. Unbreaking 3 for level 30 with nothing else. I'm just speechless. Well, I'm not, because I'm yapping, but that is unbelievable. Bad game. Mojang, fix game, please. I've gotten up to level 30 again through trading, so we'll just make ourselves an iron axe and enchant that. Why am I getting offered fortune on the thing that I don't want fortune on? And I get nothing but fortune. I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay, well, at least the next enchantment is efficiency 4. I do want to get a mending librarian, but for now, I'll just buy a diamond pickaxe for the exorbitant price of 27 emeralds. Thankfully, getting this repaired only costs 6 levels. Since we've got ourselves a silk touch pickaxe, it's time for us to work on the Nether island right here. I want to do a mix of the Crimson Forest, Nether Waste, and Warped Forest. See, now we've got the opportunity for really cool little details because we can silk touch stuff like ores. We'll also make sure to pick plenty of mushrooms and go away. As I was saying, we'll pick plenty of mushrooms so that we can grow our very own Crimson and Warped trees. Even with full diamond armor, holding this is still pretty terrifying. The only other thing that we need from the Crimson Forest is plenty of this Crimson Nyleo. There is a Soul Sand Valley right here, and now that I think about it, we could actually go for a split of 4 biomes. Crimson Forest, Warped Forest, Soul Sand Valley, and then Nether Waste, or Basalt Deltas maybe. We'll also make sure to grab some bone blocks while we're here for plenty of extra decoration. And then as for the Warped Forest, we just need a bunch of blue mushrooms and a bunch of Warped Nylium. The only other thing that we really need is some extra gold ore and quartz. That should be everything that we need. First things first, we've got to build the bridge, of course. One cool thing I thought we could do is instead of having the usual spruce border around this area, we could do crimson on one side and warped on the other. And then in place of the oak logs, we'll use nether bricks. We've got a choice of using strip logs or the regular ones, and honestly, I'm actually liking the regular ones more. Almost feels like the nether took over a normal part of our base, which I really like. Still got to remember to add in our trapdoors, of course. Things might look a little bit strange just because we have to go around with fences only since there's no nether equivalent for leaves. I mean, we could use the blocks from the nether trees, but they're not see-through, so it would look pretty weird. The fences aren't a perfect solution, but they get the job done. I want our nether portal to be right in the center, so I'm making a netherrack path leading to it. Okay, there we go. This is where the portal will go. And now we get free reign to design these biomes however we like. And I've already run out of Crimson Nyllium. That's awkward. Back to the grind. Okay, now we can actually get back to what we were doing. I'm trying to make the terrain a bit visually interesting because we don't just want it to all be flat. Okay, there we go. I'm happy with that. Now we just go ahead and plant all of our crimson fungi and then bone meal them. Hopefully we get some nice tall ones. Yep, just like that. And they should really help give a sense of scale to this place. Then we just go in with some more bone meal to add some foliage everywhere. And finally we use our flint and steel to add some random fire. The next one that we're doing is the Soul Sand Valley, and this should be very simple. Just chuck in a bunch of soul soil, set it all on fire, throw in some bones and call it a day. Just throw in the bones now and then this should be done. Oh, and we got to set everything on fire, of course. Next up, we have the very simple nether waste. I'm really trying here, although it is very hard to make nether waste look interesting. Not gonna lie, I kind of picked these over the basalt deltas just because these are a lot easier to build. Thankfully, the fire does enough heavy lifting that it looks okay. All we've got left is the final biome, the warped forest. With that done, all that's left is to take down our old nether portal. There we go. There's our brand new nether portal set up. I've gone for quartz on the corners, although I don't know if I really like that. Nether bricks look way better. It's been ages since I checked out our farm. We need to go ahead and fill out this wheat field. We've almost got it filled out now. We've just got this little bit at the edge that's not done. A small thing that I've been meaning to do for a while is finally get some grass so that we can turn these ugly dirt patches into luscious green nature areas. There's 1 or 2 player-made islands on this map, and usually you only get the coordinates very rarely from some maps that show up in barrels. However, I have a mini-map mod to make my life easier, and the thing is, because these chunks have already been generated by someone else, they're visible on the map. We've got the exact coordinates for where we need to go. We're off on another adventure, and I think the island's already coming into view. Oh no, never mind, this is just a villager in distress as his ship burns. In the past, I would have been inclined to help you, but your purpose serves no value to me, so I'm just gonna let you suffer. See you later, my friend. There's another one over here, although this time it's for illagers, and they built out of birch, so this is exactly what they deserve. Although, to be honest, these days, I'm really not that bothered by birch. I mean, I know it's like a Minecraft YouTuber thing to kick up a big fuss about it, but these days, I don't know, man, I'm 22 years old. I don't have the energy in me to just scream about how much I hate birch anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still one of the worst wood types in the entire game, absolutely up there with acacia, but it's just not that bad. And here we are, here's the island with all of that premium grass. Oh, and there's actually some cows on here, that's pretty cool. Didn't think I'd ever be getting excited about cows in a Minecraft world, but here we are. There's also this chest, which contains a bunch of weird stuff. I guess the name tags are nice. And there's also this watchtower. The ladder's broken, so it's up to us to do maintenance. And let's see what our reward is. Oh, an iron chestplate. Incredible. I mean, I don't really care about any kind of loot. This grass here is rarer than diamonds. And come to think of it, so are the cows, because this whole world is warm ocean, which is not a biome they spawn in. We're definitely taking some of you guys back. Although this does mean I'm going to have to make 2 trips to the island in order to ferry 2 cows back so we can start breeding them. So that is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. We've arrived back home with cow number 1. This circle right here will be perfect for a little ranch. We could even add in a bright red barn. Although that does go back to my earlier point of struggling to get red dye, so we'll see about that. Before we add grass to this place, I'm going to extend the jungle plank so that we're not just walking through grass in order to get some of our areas. Perfect, there we go. I may as well do it for every side now that it's on my mind. All of those are done now. So we can now go ahead and throw in our grass into these dirt pockets. Now we'll also add it into our tree farm. Right, I better head back out to that island and get our single cow a friend. These two seem to have developed some kind of kidnapping protection mechanism. They are way too annoying to get, which means it's going to be you. Hopefully you enjoy your new life on our raft. He's just staring at me creepily, so that's a great start. Look at that, they're going to be best friends for life. They're both staring off in opposite directions. I think they hate each other. I was just thinking about the barn we'll build. We're sorted for red dye because we can just use beetroot. In order for us to build a nice red barn, we're going to need to collect plenty of sand and gravel for concrete. We'll also need to collect diorite for the white parts of the barn. Thankfully, we have a bunch of leftover bone blocks, which will keep us topped up for bone meal so we can spam bone meal beetroot to get plenty of red dye. This should be perfect. We'll have plenty of red concrete powder. Just got to go ahead and top up on oak wood before we start this project. And you can see that the grass is slowly but surely spreading around the farm. You guys know the drill by now. We've first got to go around with our logs, and now that that's done, we'll go ahead and fill the area in with dirt. We'll do the same thing that we did in the nether area, where this area is going to be built up a few layers so that it looks quite interesting terrain wise, because we don't just want the whole thing to be flat. We'll also make sure to throw in a few pieces of grass here and there so they can slowly start spreading. I've got the 4 pillars of the barn planned out, so now we're going to go along with our red concrete powder. And when it comes to building up these pillars, we're going to alternate between regular diorite and polished diorite. I'm thinking of leaving this front bit here open with a fence like this. It'll help to make the build a bit more visually interesting, so it's not just a big red box. We're also going to be using these oak fences for windows, because that makes a lot more sense than glass. Then once we're done with everything, we can go ahead and convert our concrete powder into regular concrete. I'm trying to make a nice large curved roof, but this feels a bit too pointy. Yeah, okay, that's way better. I've had a revelation that the diorite looks too dirty and messy next to the super clean concrete, so I'm going to replace it with quartz. Also, because we've moved our nether portal position, we now have a new one about 20 blocks away. Not having fortune is definitely going to make this a bit of an arduous process, but it's going to be worth it. And at least on the way, we're getting some XP out of this. Thankfully, we're just going to be outlining the roof in quartz. We're not building the whole thing out of it. I miss having fortune so much. We've got enough quartz for 50 blocks, which should be plenty. Honestly, this place really sucks at the moment, so we're going to make it look a million times better. We're going to start by adding a layer of nether wart blocks underneath for some extra texture. We'll then go ahead and use quartz pillars on the sides. We're also going to have all of the sides filled in and have the entrance at the front here, because this bit just felt way too open before. I don't mind this design for the windows, but at this scale, scale, it feels a little bit too chunky. Instead, we'll go with something nice and simple. Leaves here, then spruce fences, and then some oak trapdoors to represent shutters. Oh yeah, that looks so much better now. As for the entrance, I think something like this looks quite good. And we can even bring some trapdoors out like this to represent a big wooden door. As for the roof, it should be quite simple in theory. This looks so much better than the original design, although I might cut out these pillars here. It might look better if we have some spruce wood there instead. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe more nether wart blocks? Or perhaps I just stop overcomplicating it and use concrete. In fact, I think that's just the best option. At the top here, I'm also adding yet another window with the same trapdoor and spruce fence design. All we got to do now is fill the rest of the roof in. And look at that! I'm really happy with how this has turned out. I really need to catch up on building the little connecting bridges between each of the islands, because swimming across is not the move. All we've got left to do now is add a few details here and there to really tie the place together. We do have to be fairly careful with the placement of everything, because we don't want to give our cows a way to suddenly leap the barrier and swim off into the unknown. This is a rather sad looking barn inside, but they'll have to make do with this. I did splurge on a few lanterns for them, so they better be grateful. Then we just go around with our bone meal, destroying any tall grass because it looks ugly. We better dot a few lanterns here and there just on the ground as well to prevent monsters from spawning. And finally, while we're here, we'll throw in the usual fences and leaves. Although in this area specifically, we're going to have to use trapdoors on all of the leaves so that the cows can't jump up onto them. Or actually, instead of doing that, we can just imprison them inside the barn. That's a much better idea. Here we go. The cow capture program is in progress. That's 1. And that's 2. There we go. I've been putting it off long enough. I need to go ahead and build all of the connecting bridges. That's the first one done. Alongside doing this connection, I also want to work on this one and the same one over there. Honestly, this is pretty fun and relaxing. If I was going to join a multiplayer server with friends or something, I'd probably just go ahead and build a bunch of bridges and paths. Right, we've got all the fences placed in. That's looking nice. Just got to add in all of the leaves as well. This feels like my everyday life where I put something off for months and then discover that it really wasn't that bad in the end. There we go, getting the tree farm connected up now. Let's also get our nether area connected up finally. I'm very much hoping this fire here doesn't manage to spread to the bridge, otherwise we are in for a world of pain. Although then again, the villagers would be the first to burn, so there'll be a nice little fireproof sacrifice. Gives us time to escape while they go up in a blaze of fiery torment. And just like that, 5 of the outer rings have been completed. We've just got the 3 at the back to work on. Although before we do that, we're going to get these grassy patches decorated. I'm thinking of going with acacia trees, because even though the leaves usually look really ugly and washed out, in the ocean biomes, they look quite nice. Although we are probably going to have to cut down quite a few trees in order to reset for the one that we like. Because this is too bulky. It looks bad. But this is a lot better, although I don't know what these leaves are doing here. Please go away. Although on second thought, I might just bone meal these and turn them into gardens, because the trees block out a lot of the base, which I don't like. Yeah, we get a much cleaner look if we just go for some grass. It's about time we got some better enchantments on our gear, because we are eventually going to be taking on the Ender Dragon at the end of this video, which leads me to believe that the next best island to do is the Mob Grinder Island. This may actually be one of the most difficult areas to build, and that's because we've got to somehow answer the question of how on earth do we make a giant blocky mob spawner look good. I think it's going to be near on impossible to make it look amazing, but I just want to make sure that it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. And also, yes, at some point we will actually be finishing the central building for our base. I tend to get most of the way through something and then something else will catch my attention and I'll forget about the other thing for ages. We're also going to have to venture down into the caves because as it stands, this mob grinder will make barely any monsters. They're all spawning down below us. That's why we don't really see any of them at night on our raft, is because all of the spawns are being taken up by the monsters down below. I've also just thought this could actually be the place where we make use of that acacia tree idea that we tried for our main base. Otherwise, this whole area will just be a big flat jungle slab circle, and that's not what we want. Although having said that, I do want the build to breathe on its own because we have got a lot of greenery around this place. I'm very glad we've got jungle trees on hand because we've run out of wood. The other thing that's a pain about mob spawners is that they're an even number of blocks, which really goes at odds with our uneven number of blocks that our circles have. From a distance, this shouldn't be too noticeable though. Definitely going to be working with stripped spruce wood here. Okay, I've got a design for the drop chute. Instead of just being solid blocks, we'll use these spruce columns and then the stairs in between to connect them. And I think the design will be even better if we had these connecting logs in between. Now that we've got the design down, we've got to go ahead and build this thing all the way up. That's the drop chute done, but now this is where things start getting really difficult because we've got the huge wooden box on top where the monsters will spawn. I get the feeling that this is going to require a ridiculous amount of logs. Some stripped dark oak along here might not be a bad play. We'll also go ahead and make our mob spawner rounded at the edges, which does cut off a couple of blocks for mob spawning, but it's not that big of a deal. So far, it's actually looking okay. I don't hate it. Okay, we've got the basic design down, so now we just got to build it up a few layers and get it all finished. Okay, this place should be done now. All that's left is to go down inside and remove all the torches. Spiders tend to block up mob farms because they end up spawning and then just climbing into the sides here and not going down the chute, but by placing these slabs, we should be able to stop at least a good amount of them from spawning. It's still pretty bulky and not the prettiest thing in the world, but for the average mob spawner, I'd say that's looking pretty nice. I don't don't feel like it absolutely ruins the look of the base or anything like that. Hey, would you look at that? Slowly but surely, it's working. I thought we weren't going to get any mobs at all until we lit up the caves. This rate of mobs isn't terrible, but I'd definitely like to improve it. Before we head off into the cave to light them up, we've got enough levels for one level 30 enchantment. I guarantee this efficiency 4 comes with fortune 3. Watch this. Oh my days, let's go. That is just perfect, because now we can get ourselves efficiency 5 fortune 3. We got to make sure that we light up every single cave under our base. We can't leave a single stone unturned. I can already hear zombies really close by. They're going to be impacting our efficiency. No, no, no. You guys need to get out of here. A nice bonus of being down here is that we can top up our iron supplies. That one greedy toolsmith villager has absolutely rinsed us for everything we own. Oh my god, no! I'm very glad we've upgraded to full diamond armor. See, this is what I'm talking about. Look at this room here. We've got a skeleton, a zombie, and 3 baby zombies. I'm glad none of the little guys are geared, because otherwise this would be a lot more difficult. This room's got iron galore as well. Look at this. While we're down here, we'll use our fortune 3 to grab plenty of coal as well. Here we go. There's more mobs here. In fact, there's tons of them in this cave, so this was definitely impacting our farm. These two gentlemen are just having a disagreement, so we'll leave them to it. I lied, the winner gets blown up. Thankfully, a lot of the caves under here are water caves, so they're completely flooded, meaning no hostile mobs will spawn. There are, of course, going to be some pockets that will end up missing, because it's just impossible to get every single cave under our base. As long as we can get close, though, I'll be happy. Hey, we've got a minecart chest here with 2 diamonds. Also, we've got over a stack of iron now. Oh, and there we go. We've got some diamonds on the wall here as well. Come on, fortune 3. Don't let us down. We already had 2 diamonds from the minecart chest, meaning we got 5 from just 2 ores. That's really good going. Oh, we've also got a very random spider spawner right here. You're all being evicted. Unsurprisingly, the chests really don't have anything of note. We've used up most of our torches now, so it's time to head back up to the surface and see if there's any improvement in our mob farm. Well, the good news is that our hard work seems to have paid off. The bad news is that because there's no more caves for the monsters to spawn in, they either spawn in our farm or on our base. And that is going to be a bit of a problem. Let's grab our free XP first before we do anything else. Oh my god! Okay, that's great. Thankfully, slabs are really blast resistant, so that creeper didn't actually do that much damage. I didn't just mine all this iron for nothing. We can turn it into lanterns and then go around our base, lighting everything up properly. The rings we won't bother with because we're going to build on them anyway, but in terms of areas like the tree farm, they definitely need a bit of improvement. And that reminds me, I do also want to throw some lanterns into these grassy patches here. I'll just kind of sprinkle the lanterns around in the tree farm. There's no need to be super mathematical about it. I'll even throw in some lanterns into our sugarcane farm just to be 100% safe. Thanks to our mob grinder, we should have some very strong enchantments in no time. And the best part is that it's going to build up monsters while we're just working on our base in the background. I think it's about time that we actually went ahead and finished the main central part of our base. We already know what we're doing design-wise. We just need lots of spruce wood and dark oak. I get the feeling I'm going to be doing a lot of this in the next few days. Look at that. We're already up to level 28. This should be a fairly simple affair. Got to go around with these composters first. Then we've got to go around and replicate the dark oak trim. Now that that's done, we bring up the dark oak and spruce logs. And then, of course, we have even more trapdoors to place down. Thankfully, I've put some glass to cook up in the furnace, so we've got plenty of that as well. We, of course, got to remember to add these circular details to the windows as well. I've done one section so far, and it's already taken forever. There's just so many little details that you've got to do. Halfway done now. We're getting there. And now it's fully built the entire way around, apart from right there, which is going to really bug me, so I've got to go and fix that. All that we've got left to do now is build a roof, as well as that underwater-themed interior I was talking about earlier. I want the roof to be a huge glass dome, which means we've got to collect a whole load more sand. We have absolutely ravaged this poor little sand island. All of our sand's now smelting, and while that's going on, I'm going to go ahead and finish up some little details around the base. It's nothing particularly amazing, it's just some necessary tidying up. Look at this, we've finally got ourselves a proper bridge to the mob spawner. Ah, you know what would look really cool? Some lanterns on our base. I completely forgot to include those. What is this mysterious creature? Don't you run away from me. What is this guy? He looks diseased. I mean, that probably hurt his feelings. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean it. No, get down from there. Oh my goodness. Mobs will find any excuse to spawn in the stupidest places possible. But hey, at least our mob spawner's thriving. Right, I've added some lanterns to our base, and it looks so much more inviting now. There's even mobs spawning on the roof of the villager building. Okay, these lanterns should stop that problem. And we've even got to put some on top of the barn to stop any ridiculousness from happening up here. Right, the mob farm is now connected to the tree farm as well. Everything is coming together very nicely. Oh, get out of my house. He just invited himself in there. How rude. I'm not really getting offered any good enchantments right now. Oh, Depth Strider 3 when we live in a world that's only ocean. That is ideal. Although it does also come with fire protection, which is just the worst thing possible. That's fine. We should get another enchantment soon. We're actually going to be using a slightly different type of glass for the the roof. I'm using a resource pack that removes the borders on glass because I think it can look really, really clean. However, when it comes to building a giant dome that's only made of glass, this is going to look pretty weird because it only makes sense if it's connected between blocks, if that makes sense. Thankfully, there's a pretty easy fix. We just combine 4 glass like so, and that gives us connected glass. It's just the standard connected glass that you get with something like Optifine, but I'm not using Optifine because it's really outdated. We've got all the materials, so let's get on with building this glass dome. I'm going to start by getting the whole thing built out of glass first, and then I'll go through with wood and start adding details, because I just know otherwise this whole thing is going to end up misaligned and misshapen. It feels so satisfying to watch the whole thing come together. This right here is the final layer, and boom, there we go. Oh, that's looking so good. Now comes the tricky part, which is adding the wooden border. We're going to need to build 8 of these. They should hopefully all intersect with each other and look really cool. Here we go. We've got our first intersection. For once, I'm actually not building with that many trapdoors, just logs and stairs, which is making this a lot easier. All the wooden bits are done. Now I'm just adding in some trapdoors for a final flourish. I've also gone ahead and placed down these lanterns because I do not want mobs somehow finding a way to spawn on these singular pieces of dark oak. In fact, just to be extra sure, we'll spawn proof them with pressure plates. Let's go ahead and make our way down. Just look at it. I'm so happy with how this turned out. Of course, we'd also have another rather pressing problem, which is how empty the interior is. Oh, and I guess I better get rid of this giant dirt pillar here as well. I'm going to start by actually just mapping out where we want to build our sea-themed area inside. We're going to be using lots of sand for this, so I'm going to have to make sure that we build a cobblestone shell first. Otherwise, the sand is just, of course, going to sink to the bottom of the ocean. This is a nice big area. I'm happy with this. I'd also want to use some prismarine in the build, so I better spend some time grinding here so that we've got good enough gear to actually take on an ocean monument. Because fire protection 4 diamond boots are really not going to help. Prop 4 on the chestplate immediately. That is beautiful. I do wish I had more than just prop 4, but I can live with that. This wheat field's been bugging me for a really long time, so while I'm waiting for more monsters to spawn, I'm going to finally fill it out. We can also trade with our villagers to get our levels up, and we've now gotten breaking 3, protection 4 on our leggings. I could do with a better sword enchantment, and then I'll be happy with our gear. We got sharpness 3 on breaking 3, which I'm not too mad about. Before we go, I am going to craft up some golden apples for emergency healing, and we'll also bring along plenty of doors so that we can create emergency air pockets. We could brew this pufferfish into some water breathing potions, but I don't think they're necessary. I didn't fully think this through. Because this whole world is a warm ocean biome, ocean monuments can never spawn because they only spawn in lukewarm and cold oceans. All the ocean monuments that we've been seeing are the ruined ones. I just thought that some of them were ruined and some of them were actual monuments, but no, they're all ruined, which means we don't actually have to fight our way through to get the prismarine. We can just boat over there and collect whatever we need hassle-free. Upgrading our gear isn't a lost cause by any means because we're going to be using it to fight the Ender Dragon later. Here's what I was looking for, all this dark prismarine. Annoyingly, there is a drowned spawner summer in this place, which is making this a little bit difficult. Just leave us alone, why don't you? Oh god, that's a trident one. Get rid of him. There's actually a second one here as well. I do also want to collect some prismarine bricks because I want to build a mini ocean monument in our little ocean area in our base. We should have everything now, so let's head back. And now we can go ahead and outline the pool using our dark prismarine. Thankfully, we have very plentiful cobblestone supplies, so we can just build a huge platform underneath the pool. With any luck, we should have enough spare sand to fill this area out. I still cannot get over just how beautiful these shaders are while you're underwater. I mean, yes, I am microwaving my PC from the inside as we speak, but it's so worth it. I don't know why I didn't just do these prismarine slabs as full blocks to begin with. I did not think that far ahead. I'll pile up the sand in here just to make it look a bit more visually interesting. Now for the most fun part, which is collecting up a ton of colorful coral to use in our build. We can use quadruple sea pickles in here to add plenty of light, and if we ever need more, you can actually bone meal them if they're placed on coral. Now we've got to build our little coral formations. I'm going to do my best to make these look natural. As long as we build it haphazardly and have the pieces overlapping, it should look pretty good. Then we sprinkle in all the coral fans everywhere, and as a final touch, we need to use some bone meal to create seagrass. And actually, if we use it underwater near coral, the sand has a chance to grow a coral fan. This is looking lovely. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. Oh, and I forgot to build that mini ocean monument, but given the scale of this place, I don't think it would have looked very good. Since we have iron in abundance, we can properly light this area up using some lanterns. This second floor doesn't need many changes. After all, it is our living space, but it could do with a few improvements. First and foremost being lanterns. We could also set up a little bamboo growing area on this side here. We'll put string on top of the bamboo to prevent it from growing out of control. We could also throw in some nice blue carpets just to make the floor look a bit more interesting. In fact, we could just extend it and make a giant blue ring. I do need to build the dedicated enchantment area so we can get rid of this temporary setup. Oh, whoops, I accidentally killed all these coral fans because they're exposed to the air. Do not put me in charge of any ecological conservation because there will be a giant disaster. Everything will die. I don't think I could even take care of a potted cactus in my own home. We've got to visit the old tree farm just to collect some leaves and vines. We've got plenty of oak and jungle leaves now, which is exactly what I want. Because now what I want to do is take all these leaves and cover the ceiling with them. Not enough to just cover the entire thing and block out all the sunlight, of course, but just enough to add a nice little visual flair. Getting a good bit of droop in as well on these leaves. Got to make them hang down. I'm trying to place everything very sporadically so that it all looks as natural as possible. I did kind of want to do vines, but they will spread everywhere and grow out of control. It'll be really hard to place string under all of them to stop them from growing. One idea that I do want to try though is having shroom lights hanging from some of the leaves, because I think that would look incredibly cool. I have a good feeling about this, but let's see how it looks from down below. Yeah, look at that. That's turned out really nice. Our base definitely feels a lot warmer and inviting now. I've ended up throwing about half my construction materials directly into this pool. I am really not doing well at keeping the wildlife alive. I gave that jungle tree the worst haircut of its entire life while I was collecting leaves. That jungle tree there is how you look when you walk into the barber, and then this one is how you look when you turn to take just a little bit off the top. Anyway, we've got our final two areas to build. Now this one here I'm thinking is going to be a nice little cottage for our mending villager. And I know we haven't got a mending villager yet. Trust me, I'm dreading getting one. And then this big area here, I'm thinking we could turn into a giant end themed area where our enchantment table will go. I think it would be incredibly cool if we added some of the end pillars, made our own little fountain, maybe even chucked in an end city at the back, at least a mini one anyway. First things first, I do need to collect some more shroom lights because we're running desperately low. 36 should be plenty. We've got to build the outside ring of the island first. You guys know the drill. Next, we'll fill the whole area in with dirt. This build is going to be a pretty standard medieval house. Because I'm a generous man, I'll allow our mending villager to enjoy 2 entire floors of freedom. I've gone with cobblestone at the bottom, then transitioning into stone, and then we have these andesite pillars on the side. Then we'll use some dark oak stairs and slabs to support the second floor. We'll do dark oak columns along the top to bring it all together. Look at this, he's even going to have windows so he can view the outside world. He does also have a perfect view of his imprisoned family and friends, which is a little bit messed up. We're going to keep this all very simple, so we'll go with dark oak for an outline and then spruce for the main part of the roof. Just putting the finishing touches on the roof right here. Then I'm putting trapdoors and pressure plates all the way along this roof because I'm not having more monsters spawn. We'll add the usual details to the house, nothing major. We do of course need to villager proof the house, which means just putting a fence gate in front of the door. And I'm thinking we just give him the bottom floor and don't worry about the top one, because when are we ever really going to use that top area? We could do some barrels with leaves on top of them. We've also got this little table here with a globe on top. And since this place is for a librarian, we can set up a little bookshelf right here. I think it would look better if the bookshelf was mounted to the wall. I like that a bit more. I love that you can see the globe from the window. We'll also throw in a few stone cobbles in this area so that we can have a nice little path that connects everything together. Of course, the villager will never use this path because he's permanently imprisoned, but hey, it's nice to have that sort of illusion in case the authorities come along. And then finally, we'll just add some bone meal in as well. This has turned out looking very nice and cozy. The final step, and by far the most frustrating one, is to get ourselves a mending librarian. Right, we've got ourselves a somewhat willing participant. I'm going to reset his trades on this little area here so that he doesn't try and lock onto anything on our island. I keep calling it an island. It's a raft. I keep getting that mixed up. It's just going to be me and you in here, my friend, until you finally give me the mending trade. I don't care how long this takes. That's a lie. I care very much. Please. Oh! Okay, well, there we go. Problem sorted, I guess. 16 emeralds is a bit expensive, but I can live with it. This villager Huddy was getting his very own house and locked in straight away. And there we go. He loves his new house. I'm glad, because you're never leaving. I do not have some bridges to build, so I'll get on with that. I know I keep talking about it, but I love how the interior of this place looks. I'm so happy with it. I don't know how many leaves I've placed throughout this video. I just know it's been a ridiculous amount. The nether area is now fully connected as well. I'll also finish off the barrier over here. All that we've got left to build is the end area, which means we've got to start gearing up for the Ender Dragon fight. I want to buy some more mending books from our esteemed librarian, so I'm gonna have to do some more villager trading. Or at least I would if I didn't have 2 zombie villagers and no one else. What happened here, man? There was some kind of massacre and I didn't even realize. The only way that I can conceive this would even be possible, because everywhere's fully lit up, is that a baby zombie managed to jump up onto this little bit here and then slip under the fence. I guess I'll just have to max out the reinforcement of this area. Fortunately, we got really lucky with which villagers survived, because we've got our Fletcher here that we can then convert, and then he'll give us really cheap stick trades, and we've got our armorer so that we can get loads of extra armor pieces and then get some really good enchantments. So this could have been a lot worse. Also, why are you here? Go away. We do need to go ahead and find ourselves a nether fortress so that we can get some blaze powder, make a brewing stand, and then finally cure those poor villagers. Plus, we were going to have to find a nether fortress anyway, because how else would we get the blaze powder for the Eyes of Ender? There is a bastion right here, so we could check that out. Just got to take care of the piglin army first, and also not get destroyed by the piglin brutes. That would be very, very bad. Everyone's decided to mostly calm down, apart from that big fat hoglin over there, who's definitely going to run straight at us in a minute. Yeah, what are you looking at? Go away. Right, there we go. I knew it was going to come to this. He just couldn't mind his manners. We did get a piece of netherite scrap and a piece of ancient debris, so we're halfway to one netherite ingot. Netherite's not the reason we're here, though, so let's keep moving. How have I ended up finding the basalt deltas? This is the exact opposite of where I want to be. Oh, never mind. I take it all back. This is exactly where I want to be. If that guy could stop flinging his children at me, that'd be lovely. We've somehow ended up mining directly above a nether fortress. This whole escapade is also getting us a lot of XP, which is very, very nice. I am going to close off this blaze spawner here because I don't want them flying out on us. I've collected us 10 blaze rods, which should be plenty, so now we've just got to go and hunt down that nether wart. Hey, perfect. There we go. Let's head back home and crack on with things. Fortunately, we already have the fermented spider eye that we need to make weakness potions. We've got aqua affinity prot 3 on our helmet now, which is lovely. And since we're going to be fighting the ender dragon, power 4 on a bow is a must. Our potions are brewed. We've got to separate these two gentlemen because otherwise one villager would cure first and then the other would just go ahead and reinfect him. Alright, there we go. Welcome back to humanity, my friends. I wish we had these prices when we first started. 1 emerald diamond armor, 1 emerald for iron trades. That is just amazing. Honestly, this Fletcher's stick trades aren't great, but they are a little bit improved. I've finally managed to land looting on a sword, and as a bonus it comes with fire aspect as well. We'll go ahead and chuck mending on it, and then we'll combine it with our current one. And that costs a ridiculous 32 levels for some reason. We can just mine quartz in the nether, and that should get us to where we want to be. Okay, boom, there we go, done. I'm gonna have to do more trading to raise funds for mending books. We'll purchase 3 from our librarian, and then we can get mending on our leggings and our chest plate, like so. I want to add this book to our helmet so that we get prot 4 and respiration 2 alongside the mending. I'm not super bothered about putting mending on our fire protection boots. Alright, we're up to level 11 now. I'll go ahead and use our 1 extra level on shameless self-promotion. We do actually need a brand new Fletcher just so we can buy a bunch of arrows off of him. All that's really left now is for us to collect the remaining ender pearls that we're missing. We've got some kind of jumping warp toad. I'll just leave him to do whatever he's up to, I guess. What a relaxed life. He just gets to hop around and do nothing. I don't know why I'm talking. I'm a YouTuber. I'm like the unemployed final boss. I just got 4 ender pearl drops from 1 enderman. That's insane. Okay, we've got ourselves 12 pearls out here, and we have 3 at home as well. 15 is the number that I like to go with ender strongholds, so we're good to go, basically. 15 eyes of ender. Lovely. Before we go, we will go ahead and collect a bunch of wood just so that we can bridge between the end islands. Okay, the eye wants us to head out this way. Here we go. We've already found it. This actually only took a few eyes. Oh, and there's going to be monsters galore in here because it's pitch black inside. I've never seen a witch fight a skeleton before. That's new. The scale of this place is insane. It's Young's Better Stronghold mod, and I mean, it completely overhauls these places. It does, however, mean that the actual portal is a bit of a pain to find. Oh, beautiful. We found it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. We have been leading up to this for a very, very long time. Let's go and take on that dragon. All right, not the worst spawn in the world. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. That's our first crystal down, and we'll grab a second right here. Here's the second cage crystal. That's gone as well. And now all that we've got to do is climb atop the tallest obsidian pillar and snipe out every single other crystal. If I could actually aim properly, this would be fairly simple. There's 1 left, and I can't quite seem to get it from here. I should also try not breaking my legs as I fall down. That would help. All right, this should be fairly simple. It's gone. And now all that's left is the dragon herself. Just coming in for a perch here. We just got to keep smacking away at her tail. We'll just keep firing off arrows at her. We're so close now. We started on just a tiny little raft, and now we've defeated the ender dragon. And that's that. Just absolutely impeccable commentary, really. That's that. Wow, just amazing. This is the kind of quality content people subscribe to this channel for. We'll make sure to cover the portal, and then we'll go ahead and grab the egg. It's all ours now. This shader does really weird things to the end. I don't know why this all looks like TV static now. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, all that we've got left to do is track down an end city, collect the blocks from it, and then go ahead and make a little time lapse back at our base so that we can fully end off this RAFT 100 days. Luckily, I found an end city before long and went to town collecting every single block from it. Once I got back home, it was time to build a small end island and then perfectly recreate the city block for block. This was actually a lot more difficult than you might think. I had Google Images open the entire time, and even then I still messed up a few things at first. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to declare our base is completely finished on day 100. All that we've got to do to finish it off is place our dragon egg atop our fake end fountain. This is the raft that we started within this 100 days, and this is the raft that we've been able to build. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know and I'll make more videos just like this one. Have a good day, and that's all from me. Peace!